Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we're going to be talking about the 12 books that I can't wait to read in June. Okay, so this year my goal is TBRs every month and only 12 books on the TBR. This is very helpful for me so that I have enough books on there to choose from without feeling like it's impossible and there are like too many choices. Like that's something I found about doing TBRs is that I'm not going to get to all of these and that's okay. But I need to have enough, but not too many, where I have books to choose from, but not feel overwhelmed, you know what I mean? But have enough variety. So anyway, these are 12 books that I'm very excited to read. Both of the dogs are in here. So if you hear a little tussling, it's just them being little cotton-headed ninny-muggins. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I want to talk about is actually my Patreon... Excuse me? They just... No! No, stop! Chaos. Okay. The first book that I want to talk about is actually my Patreon book club book for the month. So this is the So Delicious tier on my Patreon. We do a book club every month, and it's usually a book that, so far, I've only had my Patreon for not even a year, but so far what we do is we either have a theme for the month, or this month was just kind of like a wild card where everybody could just submit any title, any genre of book. So that's pretty fun, and sometimes we vote on it, sometimes we do a spinner wheel, but anyway, the patrons are the ones who sort of drive what gets chosen for the book club. So I think that's super fun because a lot of the books we have read are not ones that I would have probably prioritized if it wasn't for my Patreon. So this month is definitely one of those. This is Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. So I've only read North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, so I'm very excited to read another book from her, and I actually just read North and South for the first time last year, so I'm super excited about that. We do our book club live show on the last Wednesday of the month, and so yeah, this is going to be a really good time. Very excited about that one. So now the next two are also book club picks, but this is for the Rake Appreciation Society. I said that weird. The Rake Appreciation Society... Oh my gosh. The Rake Appreciation Society Book Club. I can't talk today. What a good day to film videos. That I do with my dear friend Jen from the Book Refuge. We have switched from doing this every month to like seasonally. So this is for our summer session. This might be spring. I can't remember. Anyway, it's happening June 4th, our live show. So we don't have a ton of time to read these books, but don't worry because I just have barely started one of these. So the books for that book club are Mr. Impossible by Loretta Chase. Very excited about this. This is historical romance. This is a historical romance book club if you don't know. And this one is, I think that it's very much inspired by The Mummy. So I actually just started this today and I'm very excited to talk about that. And the other one is A Pirate of Her Own by Kinley MacGregor. So I believe this book is on KU, so if you have KU, you can read this, you know, for free on there. You can check it out. I found the audio for this on my library, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited that I found that at my library. So Kinley MacGregor is actually the historical pen name for a paranormal romance author. So she is actually the historical romance pen name for paranormal romance author Sherilyn Kenyon. So I have not read anything by either of these authors, so I'm very excited about this. Pirates, historical romance, it's going to be a good time. So those are the book club book picks. So now these are just books that are just on my radar that I really want to read. Some of these are books that are from my shelves or my Audible library. I'm trying really hard to have a better balance of utilizing the books that I already own. Most of my reading comes in the form of audio and Kindle books, but I do have some physical books on here and I love reading physical books. It's just, I just don't typically have a lot of time. I work a whole lot and any time that I have to read is usually dark and when other people are sleeping. So I rely on like my Kindle and my audiobooks to listen to during the day. So the first book that I have on here is also another book that I have just barely started, and it is Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. This is an author that I have read before, but this series is new to me, and I believe I heard that book 3 and that's the final book in the series, and she has not had a contract renewed for her historical romance series. I think that is coming out in August, so I'd like to be caught up enough to read that right away, and I hopefully plan to at least purchase that the week of publication. So yeah, Anna Maria and the Fox. This is about a family of sisters who are from Mexico, who I believe come to England and to escape some of the political climate there. I don't exactly know where the love interest gets in there yet. That's as far as I've gotten so far in that book. So, okay, so now this is actually a book that I physically own. This was just gifted to me for my birthday, which was last month, from my dear friend Jesson. And I think this is one of the most beautiful books that I have seen in so long. A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya. She is the one who wrote Sinner Island, which also has an absolutely stunning cover. This is a YA fantasy romance. It is vampires, ancient evil, forbidden romance. So I'm very excited about this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to read it. Okay, and then the next book that I have on here is one that I actually grabbed from Audible. This audio is available if you have Audible Plus. It's included right now. And I love this author, so I'm very excited to finally start on this series. This is The Perils of Pleasure by Julie Ann Long. This is book 1 in the Pennyroyal Green series. I can't wait to get to this. I'm just so excited to have another series of hers to binge. I so dearly love the Palace of Rogues series, so I'm kind of curious to see how I feel about this one. Okay, and then the next book that I have is the beginning of a new series. This is by one of my favorite authors, Nichole Van, and the book is Intertwine. So I don't really know a lot about this. This actually, I've seen this book around. I actually owned this on my Kindle. It was on sale, so I grabbed it. But then when I had just barely finished listening to A Heart Sufficient by her, this popped up on Audible as a preview, and it intrigued me enough that I just went ahead and grabbed it. So this is basically a time-traveling romance, it sounds like. So our heroine, it's set in like 2012, and she's having a hard time finding love. She sees this picture of this man from England in the past, and she becomes kind of consumed with him and who he is. So she plans a trip to go to England. She ends up getting sucked back in time, and a lot of times time travel romance doesn't always work for me. But man, I really hope this one does because I love this author. Okay, so now this next one is one that I'm actually super excited about that I also did start this on my Kindle. This was also sent to me from a subscriber, Paula. So if you are still here, thank you so much for sending me this. I am absolutely excited to read this. So this one is basically about we have a newspaperman's widow. She's prickly, it says. She's vowed she's never going to marry again. Unfortunately, the election in her town is contested, and the town charter gives Phoebe the right to make her husband a voter if she had one. So she ends up finding Nicholas Diamond. It says his leg and self-confidence have both been shattered in the war. He's determined to prove to his titled parents that he's not useless. He's got to help his little brother win this election, and that means marrying Phoebe off to somebody before the polls open. I'm a little confused about how that works. Anyway, I'm very excited about this. This is a new-to-me historical romance author. I own the first 2 books in this series, and I feel like I haven't really heard anything about her. I put this on my wish list when I was looking for new-to-me historical romance authors, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, so I'm very, very excited. There is no audio for this, so this may be my priority, like, physical read for the month, but that would be awesome because I so badly want to continue exploring new-to-me historical romance authors. I did that a good bit in May, and I had so much fun doing that, so I'm very excited about this one. Okay, and then the next book that I have is also a physical copy that I own that I actually bought last year on my birthday. We went to a bunch of different bookstores on my birthday. It was so super fun. And I absolutely love Kate Clayborn. I love pretty much everything I've read from her, so I'm very excited about this. This is The Other Side of Disappearing. I know this is a contemporary romance, and I believe it's something about a woman kind of looking out for her half-sister, and then I'm not sure how the love interest ends up getting in there, but I think I'm gonna love it because I love this author, and I've just been holding on to this. I don't know why, because I feel like this is an author that I have a lot of expectations for, so I'm worried it might not deliver. I do that a lot. Anyway, that is another one that I definitely want to get to this month. And then we have a fantasy romance. So I want to read Scarlight by Evie Marceau. The only thing that I really know about this is that she was in like a wolf attack when she was younger, and she was saved by a prince from a rival kingdom. and 10 years later he comes to try and get her hand in marriage, and I'm not entirely sure what the fantasy plot is from there, but it sounds intriguing, and I think the cover is pretty beautiful as well. Okay, so now these next two are actually two of my most anticipated reads of the year, and they're not romance, they're fantasy. The first one that I am probably going to be reading like the day it comes out, I'm so excited, and it actually comes out this Tuesday, June 3rd, is The Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater. If you've been around for a while, you've heard me wax poetic about Maggie Stiefvater and share my relationship I've had with her over the years. We knew each other back when daily painting was first beginning early in like 2010, maybe 2009, 2008. And I've followed her career ever since, and I've read everything that she has written. So I'm very, very excited to have her first adult fantasy. And this is actually the first book that no, because she did the Dreamer series. Anyway, I was going to say this is the first book she's written in a few years, but so excited about this one. Can't wait for it. Literally kind of dying to get my hands on this one. So okay, and then the last book on my TBR is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, who is another one of my favorite fantasy authors. I just love their work so much. This is a new fantasy, so this isn't part of a series, and this is basically about lesbian vampires, and I just think it sounds absolutely amazing. Honestly, it's not even that it sounds amazing, although that concept definitely does. It's mostly that I have not had very many disappointments by this author, and I am so excited to have a new book from her, so alright, there you have it. Those are the 12 books that I want to read in June. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you are most excited to read in June, and if you just want to leave an emoji and let me know you were here, please leave me a blue heart, and I will see y'all in my next video.